In today's episode of Emotional Alchemy, a 42-day inner revolution, we're talking about a force that doesn't slam the door or flip a table, but still manages to empty out your entire inner world. Not rage, fear, or grief. I'm talking about apathy.
Welcome to 858 Society, where self-discovery meets transformation. I'm Ariel, your certified master spirit life coach, here to help you unlock your power, heal from the past, and create the life and relationships you deserve. In this space, we dive deep into topics like dating, relationships, spirituality, and personal growth, all designed to empower you to step into your highest self. Whether you're seeking clarity, confidence, or connection, you are in the right place. Now, let's get into today's episode.
Apathy doesn't crash in loud, explode, or unravel things all at once. It just floats in quietly, almost politely. And before you even realize it's there, you've stopped reaching, responding, and caring. Not because you don't want to feel, but because it just started to feel safer not to. Apathy has a way of dulling everything. Your joy, curiosity, and fire. It dims the parts of you that used to light up over something as simple as a morning playlist or a spontaneous idea. It doesn't feel dramatic, but it is devastating because it disconnects you from life while convincing you you're fine. Now, here's something important to understand. Apathy is not peace, healing, or being above it, so to speak. It's emotional shutdown. It's the body's way of saying, I can't afford to keep feeling this deeply right now. And when you carry too much for too long, like too much disappointment, burnout, betrayal, or heartbreak, your system eventually hits a switch. The volume gets turned down, not just on pain, but on everything. From a psychological standpoint, apathy is linked to emotional disconnection. It's not the absence of emotion, it's the nervous system pulling the plug because constant stress has made feeling too expensive. In cases of trauma, long-term pressure, or chronic emotional depletion, apathy is the adaptation, and it often gets mislabeled as laziness or detachment, when in reality, it's someone who has been running on empty for far too long. Psychologist Dr. Guy Winch refers to apathy as emotional numbness. He says it's the mind and body's attempt to protect itself when hope feels unattainable. And honestly, that tracks. When nothing seems like it will change and everything starts to feel meaningless, apathy steps in like a kind of emotional anesthesia. You no longer have to feel the pain, but you also lose access to joy, drive, and aliveness. Now let's look at this from a philosophical angle. The Stoics believed that a meaningful life required active engagement with virtue, choice, and purpose. Nietzsche warned that apathy wasn't just the loss of feeling. It was the erosion of meaning. When apathy takes root, it begins to sever your connection to self, others, and the world around you. Not that you stop existing, it's that you stop participating, and that's when meaning starts to dissolve. So the question becomes, where did you stop believing your life had meaning? When did you stop trusting your voice, desires, and your ability to change course? Because apathy doesn't always arrive through indifference. Sometimes it arrives through heartbreak. Other times it follows the moment your effort didn't lead to change, your vulnerability didn't lead to connection, or your hope didn't lead to anything resembling justice or joy. From a spiritual lens, apathy shows up when the soul feels untethered. It's not a lack of desire, it's the fading of that inner spark that once made life feel sacred. Where curiosity once expanded, apathy begins to collapse inward. Where connection once lifted you, apathy isolates you in silence. It often follows long stretches of emotional abandonment, whether from others or from yourself. And here's what many spiritual traditions agree on. The way back isn't force. It's not about pushing yourself into productivity or performance. It's about gently reconnecting with what feels real, nourishing, and what reminds you of your own sacred humanness. Maybe it's a prayer whispered while staring at the ceiling. Maybe it's stepping outside barefoot in the grass. Maybe it's music that makes your chest ache in that strangely beautiful way. Or a conversation that reminds you that someone still sees you. The invitation isn't to fix yourself, it's to remember yourself. Now, let's talk about what's actually happening in the brain when apathy sets in. Neuroscience tells us that apathy is linked to reduced activity in the brain's dopamine pathways, especially in the prefrontal cortex and basal ganglia. These are the parts of the brain that govern motivation, reward, and purposeful action. When they're impacted by long-term stress, trauma, or depression, the result is a kind of neurological shutdown. The drive to engage fades, not because you don't care, but because your brain is literally struggling to access the energy required to care. But the beautiful truth is that your brain can change. Thanks to neuroplasticity, even long dormant systems can reawaken. And the most powerful tools for that aren't punishment or pressure. They're curiosity, novelty, gentle movement, creative expression, and small moments of connection. These are the sparks that start to retrain the brain and rewire your nervous system. So if you've been walking through life in a kind of emotional gray space, if the things that used to excite you now feel muted, if you've been convincing yourself that you're just tired or just unmotivated, I want you to pause and really consider this. You may not actually be fine. You may be shut down. But you can come back to yourself by noticing what draws your attention, even if only for a second. Let your system feel one small yes. Let the sunlight hit your skin. Let that song play and activate something within you. Let something in slowly and gently. Regardless of how deep you've fallen into apathy, you're not past the point of return. You're in repair. And the fact that you're here listening to this episode matters more than you know. You don't have to rush your re-entry, but you do deserve to feel again. Little by little, you will regain your spark. That is emotional alchemy. I'll leave you with these 3 questions to answer in the comment section. Where have you gone emotionally numb, and what caused the disconnect? What gentle, accessible experience could help you feel just a little more alive this week? And lastly, if your nervous system could speak, what would it ask you to stop doing, and what would it ask you to try instead? I look forward to connecting with you in the comment section.
If today's episode resonated with you, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. And if you're ready to go deeper into your self-discovery journey, join my Patreon community where we explore transformative topics like dating, relationships, spirituality, philosophy, and more. You'll also find my beautifully designed digital guides filled with life-changing insights available on Patreon and on my website at 858society.com. Both links are in the description, and I can't wait to connect with you there. I'll be back soon with another empowering episode to help you unlock your fullest potential. I'm sending you much love and light. Take care, my friend.